Doing my daily walk. I walk at work all the time, but since I'm on vacation, I've got to keep my walking going. Check this out, people. I know this is going to make people mad, and I know this is going to make people think that you're crazy, but some people will get it and some people won't. Okay, I had to lock my car. When you look at the Fractal Mandelbrot set, zoom, the Fractal Mandelbrot zoom, just Google it on YouTube and watch it. It's like a zoom. It just zooms in, right? Everything follows a fractal pattern. The ultimate fractal pattern is a love story, right? Christ in the church. God loves the human. Man loves the woman. The parents love the children, etc., etc. And so if you unfold that, you get all kinds of fractals. You get all the attention seeking or whatever. Let's say there's a woman not happy in her marriage, right? She's not getting the attention that she thinks she needs, or it's just encoded in. She wants the attention, right? She wants the love and the attention, the communication and all that. And she's not getting it. It's built into her to wanting to get it from somewhere, you know? And I'm sure the man wants that respect. She wants the attention and the love, right? And the man wants the respect, right? And so if he's not getting it, he wants to get it from somewhere. That's one reason you see all the cheating and the online romances and let's say there's somebody's sitting in that room right there on that computer all night long, all day long, and they're not happy with themselves. They're going to be online trying to catfish people, right? There's always got to be an outlet of something, like a need that's not being met. Now that need should be, I was watching her house, what she was doing to her yard. It was kind of weird. There needs to be an outlet for every unmet need, right? That's built into the human. Now that ultimate outlet is getting your needs met in Jesus, right? So if you ever have a situation in a marriage, the man or the woman acting crazy, just go to the preachers and say, what's going on? You already know, but you just want to confirm it with somebody else. Go to the preachers and say, what's going on? There's an unmet need, and they're trying to get it in an illegitimate way. And it might not be illegitimate at first. It might just be, but it always is like that pull, right? But if all your needs are met in Christ and Christ alone, and you have the mind of Christ, you can actually see that. See, somebody might be lonely or something. Just say, Lord, I'm lonely. He'll send you some born again saints or people to be around or a hobby or something to do. Or he'll just it'll be such a presence with God that you won't ever be lonely again. Even if you're alone all your life, you won't be lonely because God is with you. But you can go right over here. I wouldn't suggest going to this church. This is the one that had that deacon that was a millionaire. And the only reason he didn't, he even said the Bible wasn't for today. If you're lonely, just get up and walk down the street and go to church and meet you some people down there. Go get you a job. Go do some ride share. Whatever it is, you don't have to be lonely. In a world full of people, yeah, most people are ignorant. Most people can't hear the truth. Most people are selfish. Most people are narcissistic nowadays. Most people are out of their minds. Most people are lazy. Most people are just caught up in the... I walked out my door, the guy I paid to help me clean out under the house. He's got this, he must be an alcoholic, because, yeah, I'll go help you, yeah, let's go. Paid him, got it done. Next few days, he was like mad at all his neighbors and mad at the world. And I walked out the door, he said, "Morning." It's like, wow, what happened to you? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you know? And we all do that. But my point is, he's probably in that there's a bunch of people living there in that halfway house. They're probably all, ended up in jail because of something in their programming from a child, you know. And they did their jail time, and now they're out just trying to recover and get back on their feet, you know. And they're probably dealing with a lot of emotional up and down and drinking, and they're surrounded. If you're in the house full of thieves and whatever they do, I don't know what they went to jail for. I don't really care. But if you're in a house full of flesh creatures and you're all trying to survive and fight against each other, it's nothing but chaos. If you can ever get by yourself and get into spirit mind on a daily basis for 10 years, you'll see through it. But as long as you're rubbing shoulders with flesh creatures, it's hard to see through it. The spirit mind, just like anything else, is a growth process. The saved person is being changed from glory to glory. As you become more spirit-minded, you start to isolate yourself more and more from these flesh creatures. Yeah, you might help them. You need some cash? All right, come help me work on this house. Work on this, clean this house out, whatever. But you don't expect them to be spiritually attuned to what you've learned. If you spent 10 years every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, meditating on the truth, taking up your cross, thinking about this whole reality, still function, not that you're perfect, you make mistakes, but you get enough time by yourself, you would rather just be alone than deal with the flesh mind of another person, because everybody's got the old Adamic nature that tries to come out, you know. And when you're married, if you're married with kids and in-laws and outlaws and the cares of this life and a job, and you're rubbing shoulders with flesh creatures at work, and everybody's playing these mind games and these, you know how the women play these weird games with each other, and they need each other, but they hate each other. If you talk to a woman long enough, as just being a brother to a sister, you talk to her long enough, you're gonna realize she'll tell you, I hate working with other nurses. I hate working with other women. Yeah, but you hang out with them. What's that about? They actually hate working with themselves. They're actually looking at themselves, and they don't want to admit it. The female is a piece cut off from the man. Eve is a piece cut off. She's being cut back in. She gets her identity in a man. Why do you think the women are always talking about relationships or looking for a man? And even if they're with a man, they're trying to talk to another man. Why is that? Because they're trying to get their identity back through the man. Now, when the woman gets saved, she gets her identity through Jesus alone. And it doesn't matter what the man's doing. It does affect her, don't get me wrong, because the man's the head or the lead. But when she gets born again, she gets her identity in Jesus. And so she can be stable just like Abel was stable, because she entered in by faith and she's taken up her cross. She's content in Jesus. Does she still have that built into her that she wants the attention of somebody? It's built. It'll never go away. If you've ever been married to one, they are, even if there's a good marriage, even if they're happy at the moment, and you go to a store or something, some dude looks at her, makes her feel good. You know, it's not that she's cheating or anything. It's just built into her. And the man, if he sees a pretty woman, it's not that he's cheating. He's just, oh, she's pretty. You know, or something like that. It's just built into human nature. But the secret is to be aware of your own position, responsibilities, tendencies, the inner man, you know. You see people doing pranks all the time. Where the husband and wife, the man's pranking his wife, she's pranking the husband. Anytime the man pranks the wife, like he's on the phone with some other woman, she gets all bent out of shape. If she pranks the man, like she's dressing up, going out to the town, he gets mad. And so when you tie together with somebody that close, there's going to be that protective type love, you know, and that's how, and where does that come from? The fractal archetype of that is Christ and the church. God is jealous over his people. You saw that in Hosea. Hosea married a prostitute. She kept cheating, had a couple babies together, and eventually you don't even hear about her anymore. But it was a type and shadow of God's jealous over Israel. Christ is jealous over the church. And when people try to mess, like if there has to be that, because let's say you're living in this apartment and with your wife, somebody breaks in the window, the man's gonna get up and try to kill the man for breaking in the window and trying to mess up, do whatever he's gonna do, you know. It's just built into him, you know, protection. So God protects Israel, Christ protects the church, and people try to get in. A witch or a warlock or somebody tries to get in, there's going to be that spiritual kickback, because that is the overarching fractal storyline of this reality. And it goes back to the lamb slain before the foundation of the world. So if you enter in by faith and you're really born again, you got a divine presence cover around you. God is protecting you. You have a divine protection. When you really get serious about getting in the spirit mind, you start to see patterns everywhere. Like these AC units. I don't know how many apartments are in this unit, but I can look at the AC units, tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 apartments on this side. It's a fractal. You can know all things. So when you understand the fractal repeat, the storyline, you can know all things. And so when somebody tries to get in your world, whatever it is, you've already seen the Delilahs, you've seen the Jezebels, you've seen the repeat happen over and over and over. Now, if you got somebody serious that's trying to get in your world, they're going to do right. There's going to be open communication. There's going to be truth. There's going to be truth in the inward man. People are going to be held accountable and say, yeah, sorry I did that. But if you got somebody who can never be held accountable and be corrected, it's the same old stupid story, you know. a selfish person. They just they're trying to get some kind of need met that they're not getting somewhere else or in God. And so it's the same stupid storyline. The flesh mind. The flesh mind is disconnected from God, disconnected from reality, disconnected from themselves. And if you take the word flesh and you spell it backwards, take the word flesh, spell it backwards. H-S-E-L-F. Eternal. The letter H is eternal. They're eternally selfish until they get saved. And so you rub shoulders with them all day long. You work with them. You work with the lost. You let's say you just did rideshare full time. They're in your back seat. You already know you have to become like a stoic. The good thing about doing rideshare and somebody's in your back seat acting stupid, you have to learn the gift of being a stoic. You have to learn to be in total control even when they're acting crazy. And one of the things I do is if somebody's acting stupid, all I have to do is say, do I need to pull over the side of the road and let y'all get another Uber? They say, no, we're settled down, we'll settle down. I said, okay. Just checking. They might be fighting with each other in the back seat, you know. I've seen men and women fighting in the back seat. They're married. They're in this huge house, millionaires. One guy, his wife had a good job, and he was a concrete contractor, and they had like $1 million house. They had it made, but they sounded like a bunch of redneck fools fighting in the back seat over something stupid in front of a stranger. I had to ride with him for 30 miles. I'll never forget that. That was the only really bad experience. And I was thinking, if y'all fight in front of a stranger like this, what do y'all do at home? How are y'all even still alive? Pretty sure, because I picked them up at the bar, I'm pretty sure they were probably cheating on each other, and they didn't want to go through the divorce process and go through all the court stuff. That's probably what it was. That's the fractal. Now here's a fractal. So that dog's barking, right? But he's wagging his tail like crazy. So what is he doing? He just wants attention. So a lot of these people online barking, the trolls who are barking at you, calling you every name in the book, they just want attention. They just want attention. Let's see what happens. I thought he'd quit barking. He's only running on the program. And most people are running on a program because the reason he's running that program is he probably saw some other dog do it, you know. Here's a fractal. So this is a hair braiding, makeup, locks, more, whatever that is. And so they got their own little business. They probably rent out chairs. The reason I know this because I pick them up and take them. There's some of these women out here, they're doing all that stuff to people's hair. And I pick them up in this rough area and I take them over to this little nice area. I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm renting a space. I'm doing somebody's hair and I rent this space. I meet them over here and do their hair. I said, how much does it cost to do something like that? She said, I can make up to $200 in one thing. This one lady I picked up, she was, I don't know where she was, Spain or somewhere. Her dad was black and her mom was from Spain or something. She said, I just like to come over here and see my culture. And she spent 3 days getting her hair done. I said, how much did that cost? She said, $500. Oh, that's crazy. That's stupid. Why does a woman want her nails done and her hair done and her clothes and her shoes? And why does she do it? Why is that built into all women? What is that about? It's a fractal. They want to have the nice clothes and the... Why? What is that? It's a fractal. It's built into creation. Why does the earth need the sun's attention? Why does the earth want to be seen by the sun? S-U-N. Why does the earth need nutrients from the sun? Vitamin D. D is the door, right? It's built into the woman as a fractal storyline. She wants to feel attractive to the man. Just like the earth is sitting there waiting for some seed to create a bunch of watermelon or tomatoes or whatever to grow. The earth receives seed and gives back the fruit of the earth. The woman receives seed, gives back the fruit of the womb to the man or both of them, and they have kids. They have offspring. So offspring is a fractal. You got a river running down this way, and there might be a little spring up here. The pressure, somehow water got on there. There's a little spring springing up off river. All these birds, see that bird? He sounds just like that bird I saw over there. Because they're a fractal copy. And so the love story is a fractal. The Bible books, the Bible truths are a fractal. Every time you read a truth in the Bible in different books, it's a fractal repeat. I don't know what this is about. I don't see a church over here. That is bizarre island right there. And they're so close together, somebody had to help direct that. Must be a mechanic right there. So if you can pay attention to your own fractal repeats and patterns and thoughts and all that, and become aware of being aware of your thoughts, aware of your habits, aware of your repeats, aware of your, there's some resistance. It's built into the human to be lazy in a way. So let's say you're trying to set a goal. There's always that resistance. I don't want to get out of bed or whatever it is. You have to catch those thoughts, and you have to retrain your brain back to normal. If you created a pattern for a long time, you have to retrain your brain. Sometimes you retrain it too much, you become a workaholic, you never take a break. You can go to the far extreme in anything. This little space right here is like something you'd see in a movie. Why does this space give a sense of peace, right? Have you ever thought about that? Why does this little space right here give a sense of peace? What is that about? It's like a plateau, then it drops off. And on the other side of that is a little stream. Why is it when you watch a bunch of little birds flying around that gives you some peace, you know? What is that? What's that about? Now, if you look at that piece of land, that gives you peace, but if you look at this piece of land, it's not too peaceful. What's the difference? And it might be each person has a different perspective. This might be peaceful to somebody else, you know, I don't know. That's a shame if that's a commercial property though, right there. What would be ideal is if you could build a house right there and not cut down any of those trees and have it fit in with the environment. Have it fit in. It don't have to be a square looking house. It could be a rectangular, thin house, and leave all the trees there. And make sure your roof is strong enough to handle if the tree limbs fall on it. I don't know. Just talking, just thinking outside the box a little bit. At one time, think about this for a second. At one time, that design on that building right there was a normal fractal architectural type. Now, we're used to something else, so it looks ugly. Those awnings and all that, they could rip those awnings down, paint it, and make it nice again. I wonder what they're going to do to that property. Just bulldoze it down. It's been there forever. It's just sitting there. Just sitting there rotting. If you are in stagnation, you're like that building. And you could be 70, 80, 90 years old and feel like, let's say you're 90 years old and you feel like your body's stagnating. But your inner man could still be growing, and it should be. I can't imagine what I'm going to see in 20 years because I try to talk to people and say, do you see this? Do you understand this? They're like shaking their head. I did talk to somebody last week. She's like 30 years old, and she could see the simulation. I said, it's obvious. It's right in front of you. I showed her. I took some paper out of a ream of paper, and I said, look at this. This is like each day. Take a piece of paper. I said, see if you can understand this. And I wrote down something on one piece of paper. I said, that's going to repeat until you have a new thought. Then that's going to repeat until you have a new experience. That's going to be repeat until you enter into that new experience. What happens with people is they get in these little grooves, right? These little habit patterns. And it's a fractal daily repeat, that groove that they feel comfortable, they feel secure, they feel whatever they feel. And even if it's unhealthy, it gives them that security blanket, that blue security blanket that Linus carries around. And it's the flesh. So the flesh, when on Charlie Brown, when Linus is carrying around that blue blanket, blue is the law. The letter kill it. The flesh is nothing but sin. It's under law. And so even a person that's carrying around that blue flesh blanket, they're in the flesh, but that makes them feel good. That's where addictions come from. They know that smoking is bad for them, but they keep doing it. I asked somebody about a month ago, I said, I know how you can stop smoking. I said, smoking is bad for you? She said, yeah. I said, I know how you can stop it. She said, I don't want to stop. Oh, okay. We don't want to stop our gossip. We don't want to stop our backbiting. We don't really want to step into that new paradigm because you're comfortable with that pattern, even if it is the flesh mind. Even if it is the flesh mind. The flesh mind has patterns, just like if you step in the spirit mind, there's patterns. You got to take up your cross daily. Got somebody behind me, and he's playing a song. What is that song? The theme of that, ultimate theme of that song that he's playing. Because nothing is a coincidence. These guys working on this truck's not a coincidence. It's all a fractal pattern. So I got somebody behind me walking their dog, playing the music loud. I got these guys here working on the truck. And I got a bunch of people walking towards me in front of me. 5 people walking in my direction. It don't make sense. You're just trying to have a peaceful walk, peaceful talk. And you even go to the back rows and you still get distractions. What was I talking about when the distraction started? Oh, I was talking about the habits of the flesh mind. The flesh mind even has its own patterns, a security blanket.